Alright, so I press the button. Hi guys. It'll be me for a few minutes because Stuart's internet is for a great country like Canada, it ain't doing so well. While I was able to see him every 4 seconds, he was jittering out, and from his perspective, I was talking. So, not so good. So I'm going to jump in and say hi. Let you guys know we are doing this. He's going to use his alternate solution, which is using a phone. Glory to him in his house. No. Yeah, we're going to do that by having... I assume you can hear me there. Should I move that? It might be a bit quiet. That's probably better. Yeah, so he'll put his phone on a little tripod as he films his captain's logs, and he'll do that. So it'll sound and look very different, but it'll be a different internet service than his Wi-Fi, which is different. So that'll be different, but at least he'll be here. So I'm here to talk to you. In the meantime, hi everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Starting out. I think everyone keeps saying it's right. I think Duras is going to be a problem today. Thank you for the super. Yeah, Duras is here. He's been causing problems. You know, Duras in every era, in every lifetime, causing problems. You know. Yeah. So yeah, but I am here, guys. Okay, hold on. Let me just stop this device. Alright, let's see how that looks then. Oh.
Hello. How's it look?
Surprisingly not that different, actually.
Different than what?
No, not that different, surprisingly.
From the shitty signal or the good signal?
No, just from your angle. Like the lighting, the angle, it's relatively similar. I'm kind of surprised. Huh.
That's because I got a nice little gooseneck clampy thing for the desk for my phone that I can put pretty much anywhere, and Sylvia got it for me for Christmas. So it's kind of sitting, it's right in front of the other camera, the video camera right now. So
okay, it's definitely a different focal length, a different zoom. But yeah, it's not as different as I thought it was going to. The colours, it's got the colours really close. That either says the weakness of the webcam or the strength of the iPhone, or vice versa. But you sound obviously worse, but that's not gonna complain. Obviously I'm not gonna.
How worse is worse?
40%, 30% worse. Just speak up more, I guess, to kind of get through. And obviously, I'm sorry, I'm through your phone speakers now rather than headphones. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always put me through. You could always put me in headphones. I'll just be on a slight delay, but then it'd be jiggling. I don't know.
Nah, I don't have the adapter right now. I gotta find it.
Oh, those iPhones making life hard.
Hi guys. Redemption Part 2 or Part 1. Not Part 2. Part 1.
I joked that definitely the Duras family has been influencing our live and Canada's internet in general. I think they're definitely to blame here. Always blame Duras. It's always a safe bet.
Yes. The Duras sisters, yeah. Don't know, man. Don't know.
A problematic duo.
I forgot how good of villains they were, though, compared to Generations. Generations, they're kind of like a joke. In this, at least, they're like, okay, legit.
Yeah, to think they could take over the Empire. They're capturing a Burrell in Generations. Are like, oh yeah, they're lowest brand Klingons, and here they're like that close from the Empire. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Well, we got some super chats, so let's get into those real quick. Livy Julius, $5. Make sure everyone hits like. Yes, hit the like button. It's very important, guys. Eugene, 1,000 rubles. The one that took me 9 years waiting for part 2. 9 years. With that pause, both parts felt fine, but after rewatching it together, they're so disjointed and uneven.
Well, that sounds exciting to watch part 2. I haven't seen part 2 in a while, so I'm excited for that.
So yeah.
Cool.
Olivia Julius, if you don't hit like, Stuart will cling on you and force you to hit like. Cling on me. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. Hit like, or you will be dishonored. Gowron eyes.
Yes. There will be no glory for you in your house.
No, there won't be. Squadron Course, $2. Glory to you and your internet connection. Thank you. And Area 51, $2 for epic Klingon cleavage. Yes, but not normal cleavage. Like front on under boob, side boob cleavage?
It's a battle cleavage because these are still battle armor.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Stuart. Sorry you're having not a great day. Hopefully this will cheer you up. Not this your favourite episode, but I think there's a fair amount in this episode to talk. I was surprised how dense this one was, actually.
Yeah, actually, I was too, to be fair. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it as well.
But I'll start sharing them. That's obviously, we shouldn't skip past them. I was about ready to get started. I'll quickly share. See you in a minute.
Yes. All right, guys, you know the routine. The super chats are a great way to have us see your comments, help out the channel, show your support, and also make sure that people know what you're saying, what you thought about this episode, your questions, whatever. If you're able to, please consider doing so. If not, that's fine. You can just put it in the regular chat. We'll try to make sure that we see it. It is what it is. If you want to help with the channel another way, you can do it on a monthly basis by hitting that join button down by the subscribe button, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards to help us on a monthly basis as well. And again, sorry about the delay for this episode review. Hopefully this will have it kind of sorted now. So hopefully my phone doesn't die. I would have thought about that. I should have a charger around here somewhere, so it should be fine. But you can also send PayPal if you want to send a PayPal instead. That is also an option, so consider that as well. And yeah, all those are great ways to help us out. If you do send a PayPal, though, make sure you mention it in the chat so that we can actually see what that you sent one, and we will read your comment or question via the email from PayPal for that. So anyway, hopefully Samuel will be done sharing soon and we can get down to it. But actually spam the chat right now for me with either a kapla or a na or kapla, whether you liked this episode or you didn't. So if you liked it, say kapla. If you didn't like it, just say nah. I want to see a shit ton of kaplas in the chat there. And again, sorry for the delay, guys, in starting, but we are here now. So kapla, 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 kapla. Look at that. You guys are awesome. Hopefully we'll surprise Samuel with the kaplas when he gets back. 46 likes, which is also great. Let's get another 4 likes, get up to 50 at least. Let's hit that 50 goal. We could kapla for the boobs. Yeah. Patach. Oh. Does that mean you don't like it, Marcus? I should have said patach instead of nah. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So 49 likes, 1 more like, guys. That'd be awesome. I would like to get more, obviously, like 75 or so. So if you haven't hit like, consider hitting that like button because we likes up as well. Look, Samuel is back. We got a lot of kaplas. I told him to spam the chat with kapla or nah.
Nice.
Kapla.
Joel
on true. Joel on true. Wrong faction. Not really though. Not really. Not for this episode.
Have you seen the episode? Whoo! So Stuart then. My man.
Well, we got some super chats to read before we get into it.
So Stuart, ignore me and then tell me when I can say so Stuart again.
Okay. I'll ignore you for now.
Okay.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Glory to female Klingon equal rights. Women can't serve on the council. Nobody told Izitbor or Durrell, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, no, but no, serving is different to leading the council.
I know.
Just to be technical.
There are exceptions.
Or just they didn't say, maybe,
Or they didn't care. Olivia Julius, $5. Diet Puggy treats for the dieting Puggy. Samuel treats for the Samuel. Dottie treats for the Dot. Damn, that's a lot of treats. You even get treats, Samuel.
I'm happy with that.
I don't get any.
Well, you get the treat of my company. Yeah.
Oh, dear God. That's a bargain basement dollar store treat.
Hey, they can still taste good if you microwave them to melt them and then cover them in quality chocolate. I don't know.
Yes. Matt Boardman, $5. Hit like for you and your house.
Sure. We'll bring glory if you click like.
All right, so there we go. Caught up
Oh,
with Super
fleet
Chat.
paw. Dick move.
What does fleet paw do? That's not a treat to anyone.
Yep, that's what he did. And yes, guys, we can talk about the Stranger Worlds at the end if you guys are so inclined, but the Super Chats will determine that when we reach the end of the episode if you want us to talk about
I think we'll probably talk about the live on next week about the Stranger Worlds thing.
Or
Not
that.
There's much to talk about, really.
We did get 5 and 1 last time we got. Here is 2, and we don't know either of them. But yes. So we're into season 4, Stuart. How do you feel?
Good. Feel good. We're moving on to season 5, where the downward spiral starts. Unfortunately. So yeah. I was kind of surprised that I had forgotten a lot about this episode, to be honest, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm not a big fan of the Klingon like political scene, as you know. These episodes kind of bore me a little bit, but yeah, seeing B'Etor and Lursa like as being good villains, or the potential to be good villains, was fantastic. All I remember them from Generations, where they're basically dumb.
And DS9, when they're a bit of a letdown, they're kind of like, look, from TNG, look, they're from TNG. And we're like, yeah.
So, I mean, and I forgot how this one ended, and it's like, damn, that's pretty awesome. There's a lot here to unpack. I forgot about Kern. I forgot about a lot of this stuff. And so this is almost like a new watch through for me, because I think I tuned a lot of these out because it's the Klingon thing. I was just like, whatever. But I really enjoyed this one, actually. So much more than I anticipated going into it, and much more than I remembered. So that's my thoughts on it.
And I was certainly waiting for you to come in and be like, well, there were Klingons, and I did not care. And I'd be like, oh, great, okay, I guess we'll... But it's like, you watch it, it's like, it's a dense political thriller with a lot of stuff in it. And they definitely pulled out all the stops. And there's some certain context to it that I think get lost with time that I've never had because I wasn't around when it happened, but I can imagine. It's definitely an odd one in many ways. It is an episode of continuity, which is not TNG's strong suit because they were syndicated. If you haven't seen the previous ones, this one is going to be confusing. Now, you'll get it from the first scene, but you won't... you know what I mean? They're saying, okay, if you don't know it, fine, but we're going to go full in. They're not pulling their punches. And the entire main crew don't even get a dialogue. Don't get a single line. So they sacrifice the classicness for a full-on, very DS9 feeling, I think it's fair to say, Klingon exploration. Like they were full on. That's really unusual, and so it feels very unusual.
For a season finale, it felt very unusual. Yes, this would be one I would expect to be mid-season because it's just focusing on Worf. Really, you think that the season finale would be more an ensemble piece, but
it is 2 empires, though. It's the fall of the Klingon Empire. So I get the scale, but you're right. It only factors into a small amount of main cast.
The hook, the catch for this one was, of course, Sela at the end, Tasha Yar. Humans have a way of turning up where you least expect them. Dun, 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 to be continued. So that was the thing, because nobody expected that when this first came out. Nobody saw that coming.
Even though they showed her twice already.
Only once, and in shadows, and it wasn't even her.
No, she was in this episode, earlier in the episode, in shadow, but you can blatantly see it's her. And she's talking. So the reveal at the end, she's already given away by being the episode earlier. I know in HD with the good TV, the brightness is higher, fine, sure. But it's not a reveal at the end because she's already in the episode.
But at the time, everybody thought Tasha was dead and she wasn't.
Sure.
The actress wasn't coming back. So it's just like, what the fuck is
this? A lot of people are going
to
say, is that Denise Crosby's? No, it wasn't. Because I do use
her.
It
obviously wasn't. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do think from watching it, I don't take the... I think we know how crappy the Sela storyline is, relatively speaking. It's very underdone. I think really the hook is Worf leaves the ship. I think that's a way stronger hook now in retrospect than, look, Sela's back. Do we care? Maybe?
Yeah. Oh, well, that was the other thing. Is Worf going to come back?
Yeah.
Is he off the ship for good now? Is this going to split into two, like the
Yeah.
Klingon thing and the Federation.
It's a new spin-off, Star Trek Klingon. Oh wait, oh, he's been trying to do it for 30 years. And in fact, if you think of TNG as being every character safe, and this I was going to bring up later, but we'll say it now. it actually isn't if you think about it. Season 1, Tasha died, spoiler. Season 2, Beverly gets replaced, spoiler. Season 3, Picard is rumoured to be gone, doesn't go, but was maybe going to go. Season 4, Worf goes, or maybe not, or maybe does. Each season they've had a cast change up. So they could have absolutely have lost Worf. Like, I think at the time, I don't know if anyone was thinking Michael Dorn's leaving, but they play it very straight as if he's leaving, or at least won't be on the ship for a good amount of time. And every year we've had a change up, so there's no reason to think he's not leaving. I think that's actually more powerful then. And we realise it, yeah, they've actually done every single damn season. It's not unheard of. Whereas like Voyager, they don't really remove people. DS9, it's like, no, DS9, they all live the entire time. No one's ever going to die in DS9. Actually, this season has more death than DS9 does in terms of main characters.
Well, the interesting thing too is like we've never seen a Starfleet officer resign on screen at this point. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean he's out of Starfleet now for good? So it was like, what's going to happen? Like, so gotta remember, back in the day, it was a different feeling altogether because you didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's quite a hook at the end. So it's a double hook, I guess.
Well, it puts you off guard, you know. And considering they weren't ever trying to use the Klingons that much because of Gene Roddenberry and don't want to do too much TOS, and here they are fully committing, you know, which also is also odd in a good way. You know, we all like it now. Definitely ballsy. So for my review though, my basic review, I barely remembered it. I didn't remember all the characters like you said. I think it.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Oh really? That surprises me. I thought this was one of your favorites.
No. I barely remember it. I just remember the kids. Worf leaving at the end, and who the hell cares about Seela? She's so poorly done in it. Who really cares? And also, I remember thinking, and this watch, I like the fact that the Duras have the red instead of black on their uniforms, but they look way cheaper because of it. It's not the fabric looks worse. They always look cheaper. Every time we see them, they look cheap compared to the normal uniforms. I don't know why. And sorry, Mr. Michael Westmore, when they're having tea with the captain, their seam lines are really bad. And a few of the shots, they just look like a lady with a thing on. They are not well done, the makeup. It's a really, like, some of the worst I've seen for Klingons, so I was pulled out of that. So they just feel cheap. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, everything I've just said, but whereas they, same for TNG. Generations, they had a better makeup. Like, they were really well done, Generations, but they had a movie budget. But they've never been given the money to really, I guess, look full on. Yeah.
Yeah. I never really thought about that, and I saw the same thing as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just they're normally so good. But I know they had 10 times as many Klingons as normal, more than 10 times. So fair enough. They had a lot more makeup to do each day. But yeah.
But focus on your people that are on screen.
I know. It's a weird one. But knowing all the characters, this works much better after the fact than it ever would at the time, because everyone has a grander story, That is where this episode really kicks ass now, because it's this grander universe. Seeing Gowron's origin, see the makeup evolve to be less silly looking. He's grounding it each time, Although I do find it a bit jarring every time Worf is with a Klingon, when he's still discommendated, when that's meant to be a whole thing. Like, the fact that he can go onto Kern's ship and no one even questions, is like, he's not allowed to do these things. Why are they letting him be on the council's floor if he's literally an enemy and can't be these places? There's some contextual missing of, it doesn't matter. Like, no.
Kern's ship doesn't bother me because he's the captain, so you can just say, somebody's coming aboard, if you like it or lump it, send them to my quarters.
But it would bother the crew, though. It's basically an illegal act. It's a real disconnect. He can be everywhere and yet he shouldn't be anywhere. It would have been fun if he beamed in or something directly to the bridge. I don't know. He shouldn't be everywhere. He's everywhere. Just a bit weird.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Misha, $10. Nice to catch you live, and happy you liked the Royal Air Force F4J video, Captain. Yeah, I watched it earlier. Good video, Misha. Thank you so much for the super chat. Keep up the good work. Well, let's get into it. We are running behind, so.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, basically they're en route to the Klingon homeworld to participate in putting Gowron in charge of the High Council, and maybe correct an injustice for Worf, because Worf accepted the discommendation to protect the whole High Council and the Klingon. You saw the episode. You know what happened.
Yes, it's a somewhat heavy-handed. Look, Mr. Worf, you and I were both there, but let me reiterate to you what happened in your life.
Yes.
He acts it well, but it's a little bit heavy-handed. But it was very needed. But it's not great or anything. But it is like right out the gate, though.
Yeah, the real conversation would be like, so you're going to get that discommendation thing fixed? Maybe. All right, cool. Bye.
Yeah.
Not, do you remember that time that this happened? Oh, and then this happened? And the reason you did that thing? Yeah.
But Captain, I was there. You got you attempted murder. Yeah, so it's you get it, but it's not actually a strong scene.
It's well written, though, honestly. Like, the dialogue is good for Picard.
Well, they act it well. That's the thing. They give it a lot of gravitas, even if it's last time on.
Yeah.
And I was sure when they get met by the Bortus, the guy from Orville, Bortus.
That's all I could think of too.
And I kept thinking, but I remember fanfare of a Vorcha decloaking, and everyone's like, oh, "It's a Vorcha." They're throwing them in, and they haven't given any fanfare. It was in randomly last week, and now it's here. We've given no beauty shots of like an instruction.
It's the third time we saw it, though. We saw it. The first time was like quite a while ago.
Was it?
Yeah. They brought it up in the last one where you mentioned that it was the first appearance, and it wasn't. It was the second appearance.
Oh no, you're right. It was Kempek's ship, wasn't it?
Yes.
Go on. No, you're right. But it's great to see. I mean, I would like to see more Vorchas. They pretty much ignore it in DS9, give or take. Obviously, until they get a CG version, obviously. But it's kind of cool to see.
And the thing that bothered me here is, you can maybe help me in fronting a Klingon Civil War, and the camera focuses in on Picard, and you see Riker like look at Picard and then step back out of camera frame. It's like, really? That's not. Why did you step back? It's very subtle.
I didn't notice that. It's funny.
But it wasn't necessary for the way this camera was zooming in. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, good bit of Gowron. A very Picard episode, and it's very very haunted Picard. Like he's not comfortable at any point in this episode, and it does come across like he's doing his best acting, but because he's in a really tense, diplomatic, political, personal. He's being pushed here, and he's having to try to hold his composure. So he's doing well, but it's not like my favorite performance of the character. But it's like, ooh, doing some pretty big stuff.
And the answer to your question might be here, because they're talking about Duras and his family, and there should be dishonored, but Picard even says like, why are they still a force to be reckoned with? Because there's lots of Duras supporters on the council.
Yep.
What are the sisters doing about it? I don't know yet, because the woman can't be on the council, so she doesn't know what's going on.
And what terrible line delivery! What about the sisters? Women cannot be on the council. Gets up. So what was that? Why was that just a? At least say it as part of an integrated sentence. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, here he says too that they have secured the loyalty of at least 3 fleet commanders.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. But yeah, you're the Chet or the arbiter of succession, so you got to see this through to the end and make sure that I get put into power.
Which he's going to Kronos to do. He's just being told that shit's going on. It's not going to be as easy as you thought. And did it bother you that they have still yet in season 4, despite going there several times, still haven't named it Kronos yet? So we're still not at the Kronos point.
Yeah, I never really thought about it, to be honest, but
I made a point of never. They still made a point of never saying it because I haven't introduced it yet. It's like, come on, call it Kronos already.
Yeah.
But I do like O'Reilly in this one. This is, he's nervous. Normally Gowron is very overbearing because he's always in power, pretty much the entire run of the character in the show. This is the one time he's not trying to get power through like war. This is basically diplomacy. This is basically negotiation and semi-begging. He's this close and yet this far. So he's actually the kind of the weakest he is ever going to be, I think, actually. As in tone-wise of strength, which I never considered until I said that right there. I think it's probably like his most weak performance, in a good way. Like, strong performance actor, weak performance character.
Yes, absolutely. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm thinking all the help he gets from Worf, it's like he's gonna kill you one day. Sure. Ha! It's funny how the tables turn.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah. But boy, he looks good in the makeup and the costume. That costume still holds up so well.
Yeah. And when he walks across the back of the bridge to the turbo lift, like that walk he's got that like stocky, like like that's pretty good. So Worf is escorting him down to the transporter room.
Clearly, they don't say a word to each other. Clearly.
Yeah. And well, I almost expected Gowron to like complain, like, "Well, no," because that happened in the last one with the Vulcan or the Klingon ambassador. I don't want this guy helping me. Well, he's my security officer, so he's going to.
Yeah, anyway. I was surprised that he didn't make a note, but I guess it's like I could either address this or ignore it. I'm just going to ignore it. You know, quick him off the ship. Don't make a fuss.
But as they get in the turbo lift, Picard's like, start monitoring the Romulan activity in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Which later it's like, how the hell are the Romulans on Kronos? Like, but anyway. Yeah. They talk about the history between the Romulans and the Duras here to remind everybody in the audience that that's what happened. So then we get the transporter room, and he's like, I want to speak with you. If you get installed into power, I want you to, remove the discommendation, bring honor back to my. He's like, I can't do that. Your father betrayed us to the Romulans, and then he learns the truth finally. That
no, you are my father. That's not true. That's impossible.
Yeah, so he finds out the actual truth, and he's like, you accepted this commendation. You have to live with it. That's... You did me a huge favor when you killed Duras. But what you ask is impossible, essentially. You got to live with your decision. So, because there's a lot of Duras supporters on the council.
Yes.
So if he exposes that, then he's going to lose a lot of support.
It's actually a really different scene. I wasn't like the way this one scene is an odd one. I think they really enjoyed playing it. There's a little bit of, I don't know, it stood out to me as a weird scene. I think also two Klingons in a Federation set without any Federation people is unusual anyway.
Yeah.
But it's Gowron does give him the time of day, which you don't need to. But the turn I love. It's like, wait, what? He did what? Is there proof? Yes. But the quickness that he backs down from, the council knew, I'll kill them. Wait, I need them. No, okay, fine. You're still discommoded. Like, that shows he goes from his hot-blooded to politics Gowron very quickly, and he's great 'cause he's judging the council and judging Kempek, which I'm surprised they never mentioned Kempek. I wish he'd said Kempek demand I don't tell, but whatever, continuity. Yeah, but the fact that he instantly backs down to the power of the council, which is what the other guy did, I find that really funny because he's no better than them. He's still a politician. I think the way it's played, it's a very evolving scene, and you are convinced, I think, as the audience, that he'll say, yes, Worf, you will get your honor. It's like, nah, bruv, you made your bed, stay in it. It's not where you think it's going to go. I think it's a really interestingly played scene that really shifts in power. Like, it's a power play, but neither are, actively power playing. But, I have the information, you have the information. Do you? Yeah, but I can't. It's just, I was really interested by the scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the scene. It's a good scene. I think this one's actually well written and well acted as well.
Yeah, it's very underdone. Again, Gowron is underdoing it because I think he overdoes it later. Overdoes it later. Speaking of though, we get a shot I don't remember ever seeing: 2 ships flying towards Kronos. I've never seen that before, or again, I don't think. Green Kronos, both ships. Scale's wrong, but that's okay.
Well, I think the Vortex is way in the front.
I know, but it's bigger than that. I don't think this scene fits. Let me be honest, Guinan and Worf. I think they happened to have Whoopi and said, Whoopi, do you want to be in the season finale? And they were like, okay, what can we do? Well, we haven't got a set or budget. Let's turn the lights off in the holodeck set and put you in a circle. I don't... If you can justify the scene to me, please do. But I think this scene stands out like a sore thumb.
It's just the advice about, maybe because you were raised by humans, you are part human, even though you're Klingon, and you don't want to laugh, but Klingons that are actual Klingons want to, I don't know. It's fine as it is, the scene. It's actually funny where she's like, I can go down to level 14 for a while. It's fine. He's like, what? Trust me. Don't worry. I was doing this before you were born, kid.
Yeah, that
was kind of nice.
Although,
set things,
although I agree the second bit's funny, but anyone can say anything. There's no reason to assume she's that good. She's just being banter. Like, it comes off as banter more than genuine. You know it's probably real, but there's no reason to take that at face value. But I like the whole, I've been doing it longer than you've been alive. But I don't get his argument. Like, he knows Klingons. He knows Klingons laugh. We've seen Klingons laugh loads of times. It's a really stupid argument he has. I don't think... It doesn't feel like an organic Michael Dorn Worf set of dialogue. I know he's under stress and pressure, fine. But it's not backed up by his character, I don't think. Like, what? Klingons love to laugh. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, they laugh at each other's heads. That's part of the thing. I bet you the scene was we'll film with Whoopi because she's here. You know, I don't see it as being a very integrated scene. No,
I agree with that. It didn't need to be here. It's just, it is filler. It's because, yes, we had Whoopi on set, I think. And that's fine. It works. It's fine in there, but it could also be removed and not take away from the story at all. So it's good either way.
I probably would have... it's nice to hear other sets, but probably been better in 10 Forward. And I probably would have had her talking to, say, LeVar or Brent. And then Worf come in, sit down... maybe then say, I order a blood wine, and Data's like, Mr. Worf, I've never seen you drink blood wine. Well, today I feel like I need to. You know, like he's trying to be Klingon that way, and then she gives him advice. I think they could have just, I don't know. I think there's better ways they could have done it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scene that can stay or go as far as I'm concerned. So.
And again, it shows how extraneous Guinan is. She's actually way less important than you think she is.
Again, this might originally have been a Counselor Troy scene, because it would have been fine with her kind of talking about this on his way somewhere else, like through the hallway. You know, one of those kind of discussions. Because she would ask about Alexander. She would ask how he's doing.
Oh my God, wasn't that a slap in the face? It's like, oh yeah, you got a son. You never mentioned him, do you, Worf?
Oh, he's fine. He's on Earth.
Oh God, that was
Father of the Year award. Yay.
Yeah, I was. Is this? No, it isn't. But it's nice. It is nice to see the phaser ring for what little non-set it is. Yeah, just a bit of a weird one. But it was very out of context for me.
But then he goes and requests a leave of absence from Picard, and he's like, "Granted, kapla."
Yeah,
really quick.
Yeah, and a lovely simplicity. They're on the absolute same wavelength. Yeah, it's nice.
This scene and the Whoopi scene could have been combined into one. Could have been down in 10 Forward, or in the ready room. Guinan's talking to the captain. Worf comes in. You have the same conversation between him and Guinan, and the asking for, and that would have been fine. The phaser thing it's fine to see, I guess, but yeah, it's a really weird non-set. So I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, they arranged to meet Kern.
Not sure who, where, or how. If it's leave of absence, that means he can't use Enterprise to travel, so he's not taking a shuttle because that'd take too long. He's presumably getting a transport from Kronos, but he's discombobulated, so he can't go on a Klingon transport.
Well, no, Kern's clearly in orbit of Kronos.
Okay.
So he's just transported from the Enterprise. Later, he's on the Enterprise again, talking to Data.
Okay.
So he's, even though leave of absence, he's still his home base for now.
I guess it doesn't feel like the way it's played.
He should have changed his uniform. He should have changed out of uniform if he was, taking a leave of absence.
Yeah, it just felt to me the way it was edited, like, and now a new location, not. Or I wish he'd said at the end of the scene, "My brother Kern is in orbit. Request permission to beam over. Granted." That was. I was confused as to how he got to Kern's ship. I was like, well. I guess passenger liner. I don't know, but yeah, he's probably in orbit. Bit of a quinky dink though.
How did Kern get to be captain of a ship too, with a fake family background? Like, You know what I mean? It's just whatever.
Well, Kern's sort of a non-character in his own way. It's the performance that makes it a character, rather than the actual character. Like, what can you say about him? He's a good Klingon. That's it. You know, nothing bad against that, but there's no real distinct thing. What rank was he in in the other episode?
I have no idea.
It must have been commander.
I think he was a commander because he was coming on board as like a liaison or something.
Yeah, so he got rank, got upgraded rank. Cause he was already a commander with a whole house, fake house. So it's still clearly that was working. Although he's only in command of a, well, it's a cavort, but you know, it looks like a Burrell.
Don't be hating on the Burrells. I love this conversation though. The whole. Gowron will either be killed by the Duras or whatever. Well, we got to back him. What? No, I hate him. Well, I'm the older brother, so you got to do what I say. And it's like, okay. And then, what is with the thing of the pile of sand that he puts his hand on?
I hate sand. This is what I do when I hate things. No, I agree. It's so abstract. Yeah. Or it should have been like a blade, like he's stabbing himself with a blade. You know, something very... Yeah, it's very strange. Or smash the glass when like Worf walks out and just smashes a window. I don't know. Yeah. No, I was so surprised by this scene. I didn't know realize Kern was in this one. Lovely he was, but like, the first line is like, "We'll kill him," and Worf's like, "What?" That's a lovely little twist. It's like, what? Yeah. Because I
was gonna say I love Worf's plan. No, we're gonna.
Yeah.
You're gonna do what I say, but here's the thing. We're going to wait until he needs us and he's backed against the wall. Then we're going to save his ass and say, you got to reinstate our family name. That's our condition. That's a great plan. Very, very
I'll tell you.
I was going to say un-Worf-like. But...
Well, it's a very Romulan, un-Klingon plan, Stuart. That's using devious strategy, not warrior strategy. And you could argue it's dishonorable because... he's allowing a friend to get beaten up enough until he's desperate and in danger. I mean, it's a good tactic, but is it really a classic Klingon tactic? That's why Worf's saying it and not Kern. Like, Kern wouldn't think of this. He's like, I'm going to go kill him. But Worf's like, no. Don't kill... The players don't to kill him. Much better plan. Although, boy...
I was going to say, so Kern goes to talk to his 4 squadron head friends to see what's going on, if they'll... take up
I love the fact that the Tony Todd is quite a lot taller than Michael Dorn.
Yes,
it's a wonderful power play. I was kind of waiting for when he's like, no, you do what I say. I was waiting for him to like lean forward. He doesn't. There's no kind of... He's using all of his like normal energy, but it works well to have him be so different. Although I was disappointed about how cheap his set looked. This particular Klingon set looked a bit like shit. Like no effort was put in. But I mean, I was stretching the budget with everything else. But I was like, this is the captain's quarters on your flagship, and you've got your captain, fleet commanders. This is a crap little set, man.
And later, when he messages Gowron from the bridge, it's just it's the same set.
And they've got the Vorcha bridge. Just use that as a chair. That's fine. It's a Klingon bridge. Yeah.
But they don't. So.
Yeah.
I don't know why these choices were made.
No. But it's No, I like that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's. I think at this point in the episode, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a weird episode. We ain't gonna get no Data doing weird stuff. We ain't gonna get no Federation. No.
Yeah. Well, we got a nice matte painting though, which we see a few times.
I think we get some new ones this week too, because there's like they're at day, they're at night. There's several locations. Yeah.
Well, I think it's the same matte painting, just for the next shot. With this one, they focus in on the hall, the Great Hall. The next one, they focus in on the one pillar, like that's where the Beitor and those are. And then I think the other one, the daytime one, is just a brightened up version of this one.
I don't know. I think there's at least 2, but yeah, there's a good painting. I mean, it doesn't. It does look like a painting. Let's not be fooled. But I know that there's with the Disney release 4K, the original Star Wars trilogy, 4K is not how you meant to look at these things. That's beyond what they originally intended. So you can then see the paint strokes and some of the matte paintings of the Death Star. So there is a point of, okay, now that loses the But it still looks great, and it's still a very good art aesthetic, an impressive way of doing that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think of this Klingon council big guy? Didn't he have a weird vibe?
He's got a weird forehead. He's almost got like horns. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought there would be more like importance to this character because you get a few shots of him, and it's he's a non-character. He's just like a.
He's not even giving any personality. He's just spokesperson. It's weird.
I think he's the stand-in chancellor until.
Yeah.
I don't know. He reminds me of Kempek or the guy in General Kern, or General whatever the hell his name is in Star Trek V.
It's just a weird vibe. I mean, he was going to be imbalanced. Like, you could tell he was slightly on Gowron's side, but he wasn't going to commit until the end, obviously. But just a weird actor choice. Klingons are meant to be really passionate and noteworthy for their performances, and he's just so flat. It's weird.
Fleet Paw Swiftback, $5. Gowron was no friend to the House of Moog at this point in time. It seems devious and is, but Klingons can be devious. Romulans are treacherous.
Well, Romulans are also behind the scenes. Klingons are not as much behind the scenes. I mean, devious, treacherous, yeah, but you can't always... if Romulans are always treacherous, you don't have alliances with them. They've got to be devious as well.
Yeah.
Klingons aren't treacherous, they just kill you.
Yeah. Matt Boardman, $5.
Matt.
Now I want to make an updated version of this matte painting.
Matte painting.
Matte painting. A matte painting.
Yes.
Matte. We wouldn't be painting it. Matte.
CG
anyway.
ding ding.
Yeah.
You do too many things, Matt. Too many things.
Anyway, everybody's like, anybody oppose this? No, okay, cool. We're gonna put the robe on him. No. I oppose you. I am Taral, son of Duras. You impotent little shit. Kill you.
Yeah.
No. The Arbiter has to make the decision. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
But then Lursa and B'Etor, first introduction of them. And yeah, they're actually quite a force like in this episode. So
yeah,
I don't know.
What do you think of the kid?
I hate him. I hate everything about him.
I mean, it's super intentional, right? That's the point. But what else did you pick up? Like, was it just that simple?
I just wondered if he was inbred or something because Duras had no mate. Where'd this kid come from? Is it one of his sister's kids? Like, is it one of their kids? Or is it Duras's kid? Because they're his sisters, so it'd still be his bloodline. Who's the mother? Like, that's, it's never explained. Well, I just don't like little shit.
So I don't think that's an issue, but in fact it raises another question to me. Gowron jokes, did he go to a whorehouse? And it's like, wait, do Klingons not have sex outside marriage?
Of course they do.
Of course they do. Like, so why are they like? Of course he just had a kid with a random woman. Okay, he's a bastard, but lots of Klingons have lots of children without. You know what I mean? Like, I was surprised that was such a comment, and the fact they were questioning it as much. It's just some random lady he hooked up with. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just a lady, and they found him, and they probably killed the mum because fuck it, and then they brought him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you're ascending to the throne, these things are important. Like, who's the mother?
Oh,
and
sure.
That makes the whole legitimacy of being married and all this mean a lot more. At least in royal stories throughout the years.
Well, that's why.
As for the Klingons.
Well, that's why the end has to happen. It's do you follow the name? It's not the bloodline. It's the name. It doesn't matter whether if I'm half blood or although did he even know his dad? Did he even spend time with him? I get the sense he literally was just banged a lady on Outpost 4 and then left. He died, and they were like, right, let's go back to every place our brother went. Okay, what girl? Daughter. The hell is that? Tholian daughter? The fuck? Boy, great. Okay, you're coming back. But he's a short guy, isn't he? I wonder how old he actually was. Because he's the armor's like it's obviously mini armor, but I couldn't tell what they're trying to go for here. Is he like a smaller guy like Aaron Eisenberg was, but an adult, or was he trying to be like a 15-year-old? Because the makeup doesn't, and his the face doesn't look young. I was kind of what vibe were they going for?
I have no. I think it was probably like a 15, 16-year-olds that they were going for that look, and it comes across like that. You're an impudent little shit, you know. Just I hate them, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And the sisters for sure. They're surprisingly memorable, and that isn't because of their costumes. They are both inhabiting their vibe. They know exactly what they're... Now, there might be because they're hiring the actresses to bring the exact performance they want, you know? Like, Tony Todd, you're going to get a certain kind of performance. But they are, like, so settled in their performance from the first line. It's really kind of like, wow. And it makes the bland Klingon feel more bland. It's like, these girls have exactly got what they're going for. They do not change that performance for all the years they play the characters.
And that's what I mean. Like, right from the get-go of this episode, I was impressed with the sisters.
Yeah.
But all I remember them from, unfortunately, prior to this, is Generations, where they're really not good villains at all. They're like cardboard cutouts.
Well, hench women have a plan, you know.
Yeah.
Although I'm surprised that, and they obviously, it's obvious, but no one's mentioning, like, these ladies are obviously going to be in charge of the Duras kid. Like, they're going to rule the Empire. Why is no one mentioning that? Like,
because it doesn't matter as long as there's an actual male on the throne. Who's controlling him behind the scenes?
Yeah, I suppose
that's another story throughout history that has happened many times. So.
It's just remarkable how blatant they're being, which is kind of like interesting in itself. It's like their politics game, like you say, doesn't need to be on that level, so they can be out in the open. You know, like the way they slap him later on is like, yeah, we know exactly what's going on here. You know, it's like no surprise. And also it's great. First time I think we're seeing Klingon women warrior outfit skirts and dresses. So all the women have worn full normal men's uniforms, and these like dresses.
There's actually a Klingon lady behind Gowron in one scene that has like the full armor, but with like the boob things on. But it's totally different than this. Like this is unique for sure.
Well, and like I said, they got the red they're doing with which I don't think looks as good. It kind of gets lost for some reason. The black stands out better. I don't know why. But at least they made an effort for custom costumes. I mean, they are pretty different, yet still recognizable. So good job. Good job overall.
Well, Shannon Nash throws in $10. Thank you. TNG Season 4 and Star Trek 6 were being produced at the same time. Redemption aired before Star Trek 6 was released. Showing Praxis remains or anything regarding Undiscovered Country would have been spoilers for the film.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think they were going to show a destroyed moon, which isn't actually in orbit of Kronos anyway. Because only JJ's in orbit, it's not in orbit of Kronos. It's actually farther away.
Season 4 and Star Trek 6, were they really being filmed at the same time?
No, that was... no, that was Leonard Nimoy. He was... That was the point. It was the other two-parter later. Because that was filmed... That was at the same time. They released at the same time. Because that was the big deal. It was... Because that's also a Klingon story. With Sealer. But I don't think it's this one.
I don't think it's this one either.
Yeah. Because also, that would be 3 more years of TNG and then Generations. No, Generations and 6 were 2 years apart, so... And it was filmed before that, obviously, so it was only a year apart, so no, it wouldn't have been. Double check!
Fleet Pass
unification. They mean unification, presumably.
Yeah. The Sisters' armor seems more ceremonial. Yes, this is true. I would agree with that. Yeah. But anyway, yes. Good scene. We find out the Romulans now are on Kronos talking to the sisters. So I'm wondering how Romulans got onto the Klingon homeworld without being detected. Wearing full Romulan clothing, you know, not disguised at all. It's a little bit sketchy, in my opinion, but whatever.
Is that in the...
And here the kid's like, why don't we just kill Picard? And they're like, no.
Which is great. That's great. Yeah, and we do...
Yeah.
And then, so in your screen caps, which is the version I've given you, she is very well blacked. But in the Blu-ray, she's completely light. You can see her exact face. It's not at all hiding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is because the Blu-ray...
Here it's black though.
Yeah, because Blu-rays obviously are the fullest resolution. It's better than streaming, better than DVDs, better than VHS, obviously. So that's like all the information. It's like really obvious. But obviously, you know, bad TVs as well will be different. Yeah, I was really shocked by the Romulan dude. I mean, it just shows the balls the big ones on this guy and Sealer, which is
and the guy. There's another guy at the end.
There is.
There's a few Romulans there.
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about this situation. The fact they are on Kronos, out in the open. It's a wonderful, informative moment, and they really push past it. Like, it's not even a thing.
It surprised me, to say the least, that they're just there.
I mean, it's cool, though. I mean, of course they have the best cloaks, and of course they could just land a ship on Kronos. I mean, land in a place with less good sensors and then beam from there via one of their ships. It's easy. Like, it's not hard if you've got, inside information. But, yeah. And Sealer, wow. She's doing this whole coup thing. She's right there. Talk about general leading from the front. Not that she's like a super high-ranking officer. She really isn't. But, right from the front. Yeah.
Mark Lawrence, $5. Listening while driving. Carry on.
Hey.
Well,
President Mark. Thank you.
Good to hear you.
I'm saluting, even though you can't see, because we're in audio. But thank you, Mark. In audio.
Nice.
Have a safe ride. With your auto-driving car.
Yes, well, that's true. Yeah. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Our Klingon HC part Romulan explains treachery. Our Klingon HC, what does that mean? Don't know. Anyway, next scene. We got Worf talking to Kern. He says 3 of them will join us, the squadron commanders. 1 will not, but that still gives us enough strength to control 7 key sectors. So,
and since you have no context as to how many ships, how far away, it actually is weirdly hollow. It's like okay.
Later he says Gowron controls the Duras control the fleet. Like, well, what's the fleet? What's a squadron? What the hell is happening? Explain.
Yeah, they put so much effort into it, and yet you're like, okay, great. Because you assume fleet squadron's like, okay, we've got 9 Barrels, and you're like, okay, so what? He's got 2 Vultures. That wins. What do you want? Yeah.
I'll see your 9 Barrels, and yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, where's my D7s? How many D7s do you have? D7s? Goodings, I mean, yes. Now I love this next beat because I think as the audience we are behind the story at this point in terms of like it's because a lot's happening quite a lot. Lots happening at a fast pace, and so you're like, okay, Worf's doing the getting the proof, makes sense, fine, great. And Picard comes on, you instantly get this tension, and I love the performance here. It's like, ooh, and we pick on just as Picard, like we're a little bit behind the audience, and he calls him into the principal's office. And he berates him in a gentle way, but his face is not happy. And it's like, oh yeah, this is true. And you feel, and I felt as the audience, that the construction of the episode falls down in a good way. Like, oh hell, what does he do? It's a very, because you don't think this, but there are lines. And it's weird. He's back in, like, yeah, it's a good little turning point scene. Like, this isn't going to be as easy as you think. And what do you think?
I totally agree. And the compromise is good. He says, I'll let you have the files, anything you want, but I also will make those available to the Duras, to anyone that wants them. But that's the most I can do. Don't ask me for anything else. And it's a very good. I love when he comes on the bridge and he's like, Mr. Worf. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No, it's really well done. Like, it's superbly acted, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at conflict with, what I have to do as an arbiter and me as a captain and everything I've learned in that regard. And that we walk a tightrope. We don't want to fall off of it.
Lovely line. I've never heard it said like that before. No, just that way.
Yeah.
And see Worf's that does actually convince him, which you don't think it will either. It's like the episode is also on a tightrope of where are we going with this story? We don't know. It isn't a conventional sort of story. And I was very surprised at his like you say, his compromise. Like, that's a massive bloody give. Because you're giving the damning information that will cripple Duras people. That ain't a small thing you're doing, Picard. That's a big deal. Like, you were asked to keep that secret by the last Chancellor. That's a big step you're doing there, mate. I was very surprised. I don't know if you were surprised, but I was like, okay. Wow, you must love Mr. Worf. Shit.
I wasn't really surprised, to be honest, but...
Yeah, I thought he was going to say, like, I won't give you the files, but if they appear on a data disk...
that I drop on deck 14.
Deck 29? I forgot deck 29. I know, yes. So I thought that would be kind of the way they'd play it, or he'd just shoot him down. So I was, again, surprised by the direction. And I buy him doing it, but it's not where I thought it was going to go. Which I liked. Oh, then you get Riker's cameo, his second cameo. Moving on.
Yeah. Oh, you got a message from the surface. Personal. Okay, thank you.
Bye. Oh my god. Now this scene, they had fun. This scene was just like a... Let's play, you know? Let's have some fun right now.
And how ballsy, because honestly, there's probably Romulans, like, in the closet right now.
Holding disruptors like, can we do it? Cena, can we do it? No, wait.
Yeah. Because we saw them there earlier. He beams down unarmed, which they even make a comment like, "Oh, it's brave of you to come down unarmed. Would you want some tea? Want some Earl Grey?" But yeah, they basically tried to, threaten him, I guess.
Yes, it escalates quite quickly. I thought they were going to seduce him for a second. That's the way they play it, and they go straight to threatening. It's great.
Don't mistake us for our brother. He was an idiot.
Yes. Forget about him. Move on. Yeah, that's good dialogue.
Yeah, so they basically ask him if he's thought about Tyrell's challenge. And I love Picard. He's like, two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to just flat out deny this, and how does he say? I got to get this right. Yeah. Hold on, I got to find the line.
Yeah, first is about, if I do say, then Duras...
I'll tell you what I see.
Yeah.
If I find Tyrell's challenge valid, the two of you will very quickly gain control of the council, and Gowron will be found dead shortly thereafter. If I reject Tyrell's claim, you will accuse me of serving Federation interests, and it will serve as a rallying cry to declare war and overthrow Gowron. And Lursa's like, "You see very clearly, Captain." And both of their faces were like, "Oh, he knows our plan."
But I don't think it's that moment where you're being confronted, but your brain says, keep going. She doesn't skip that beat. She's like, oh yeah, you see it. Great, move on. Okay, fine. Let's talk further. Further down. Okay, we're going to kill people. Great. Let's accept that and move on. Which is great for the character.
Yeah. And they're like, why be our enemy, Captain? You can be our friend. He gets up and he says, you have manipulated the circumstances with the skill of a Romulan. You'll get my decision at high sun tomorrow. Excellent tea.
Yes.
Good day, ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, it threw them off. It threw them right off at the end because with the way he did that, and it was great. It was glorious.
It's actually another surprising scene because Patrick this is a totally different style for him. He does lots of sub acting when everyone else is acting. They stand out so much. And this, I think, is where they really solidify. Within 2 scenes, they're really interesting. And as a duo, work quite well. Wish they had more lines, obviously. There's always benefits. But, like you said, the balls on Picard. I mean, if this doesn't tell you everything you know about the man... Because while you might be at peace with the Klingons, there ain't a good place for humans. There's a lot of people that still don't like humans. And you're the guy that has a flagship. You're notorious. You were a Borg once... Your Alpha Succession, all this stuff.
And Shannon Nash says, "Is this where the Romulans get a strand of Picard's hair to make sure?"
Yes.
She did do that. She did rub his head, So.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect, man. That is absolutely perfect. But I didn't think they were threatening. I was hoping they were going to go a more clever route. But you're right. The lines are still good, and the tea. He does drink the tea. His confidence and.
Yeah, it's not poisoned. He's like, there's no sense killing me before I make my decision.
And I love the fact that the boobs are right on his head level. I'm thinking she's going to be like, well,
he looked at them.
Did he?
He looked at them and then looked up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't catch that. No, it's I really wish, because the Romulan line is a great little line. I wish they reacted more. And also, I wish he'd said, just like a Romulan, Sealer.
He doesn't know she exists yet.
No. Roman in the closet. There you go. Yeah. Well, this I think probably would have been a better scene to have the sealer come out. Because can you imagine if Picard walks out, a door opens, sealer walks out full Romulan. We haven't seen Romulan yet this episode. And then we're like, what? And she's like, just like I've heard, the great Captain Picard. Wouldn't that have been a powerful reveal mid-episode?
It would have changed the whole ending of the episode, though.
Oh, no, you end on Worf, though. You end on Worf or, like, a cloned Romulan ship or something. But I think that would be great to follow up. Like, that would be out of nowhere. That is so random. But then you're like... And she was listening. Like you said earlier, they were waiting and they could have killed him the entire time. You know? That, I think, would have... What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know.
And do super chat your thoughts, guys. It's quite an interesting episode.
Yes, absolutely. We passed Swift back $2. We've hit 75 likes. Let's get to 100. Hashtag like spike. We can easily hit 100 right now. We have 78. So, guys, if you can, 22 more likes. Hit that like button if you haven't.
I mean, come on, guys. That should be easy. At least for the episode, if not for us. But hopefully for us. You know?
Yes. It's all about the shield. Puts in £5. Evening, chaps.
Evening.
I have first vaccine jab.
Hey.
And I get a good luck from both of you. Well, I'm terrified it will backfire. No, good luck. The vaccine, it's not anything to be afraid of. Just, I'm glad you got yours. I can't wait to get mine. So,
I think in the UK it's like 30% of all adults have the vaccine now, and there's no rates at all of any sort of people dealing with it poorly. So, you know, if like you're from the UK, you just said, but I mean, there's a lot of our population already has been vaccinated, like a large percentage. You would think they would have had massive reports if anything was wrong. So clearly not anything's wrong. So, and my mum's had it and she's fine. She was doing stuff the same day, not a problem.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Cool. Well, then we get the next council scene, and I love Picard's answer to this. The son, according to Klingon law, the son bears all the weight of his father's dishonor or whatever. But it's been verified by genetic scan that he is in fact Duras' son. But he has done nothing. He's fought no battles, he's shed no blood, or earned any honor for himself or his people. Perhaps one day he'll be eligible, but not right now. And I love the way he did that, because he didn't just outright dismiss it. He basically used the Klingon law, as Picard would, as he tends to do, to say, this is why I'm saying no. Because according to your traditions and honorable things, he hasn't done any of this stuff. And it's really great. So it's decided that Gowron will lead the council. And no one else challenges it, so...
No, 100%. I was very intrigued. Again, I didn't remember where they were going necessarily, so how he played that. The fact that he didn't argue for the fact that he don't even mention Duras and the Romulan collaborator, I was really surprised about. And there's an entire scene saying information is public, but they don't really go into it. But the simple argument, like you said, he is a nobody that does not deserve to lead the Empire. Gowron has it. They've already talked about Gowron last time, and he has actually a great record. That's a big point. So the other guy, you know, this kid is a nobody with no honor, and his family honor is shit at best. You know, and disgrace at this point. Why would you give a kid control? I didn't even consider that as a point, but it's a really good argument, and you can tell the Klingons on the stage, up until obviously the point where they decide to go civil war. They're like, yeah, he's right. Like, no one even bats an eye. No one even moves a hand. It's like, oh yeah, we can't argue with that. That's a great point. I mean, think through, most of the council are old guys. It's like, I've been fighting. I fought the Federation when this guy was not alive, you know. I fought Picard's dad, you know. And this pipsqueak has fought no battles. Yeah. No, it's a very, very good line of reasoning. But it backfires instantly, doesn't it?
It does, because everybody goes to the other side, to Duras' side. And Gowron's like, follow me and I will show you honor. Follow him and you're rejecting all Klingon law. Can you not see what you're doing here? Are you blind to what they represent? And it's like, yeah, like, I don't understand what's happening. I guess those are the ones that are loyal to Duras.
Which they did say about. I mean, they explicitly said earlier he's got half the council, whatever.
But your blood will paint the way to the future, says Gowron. It was awesome.
I was surprised though. Gowron, again, we know him later. He's a very hot-headed Klingon, hot-headed, and so to use the argument of, but it's against the law, is not. It's a very political answer, not a very Klingon answer. I was surprised by his tact there. You'd think he'd say something way more inspirational, but also we have to get to the next part. But yeah, the fact these a lot of people and the way they play the room, and even with the next scene or when it gets coronated, they never cut to a group of Klingons again. These are all the extras, and they all go with him, give or take one or two, which tells you that at least 50, if not 60, 70% of the council went. Like, they don't say it, but I think visually, like you said earlier, he says most of the fleet, and you would assume these guys all have connections to different parts of the fleet. So, it's like the coup is basically half success at this point in terms of firepower. They want to choose their fight on a different day. So yeah, it's interesting seeing once you know the rest. But you imagine though that Lewis and Beitor must have talked to all of the council members. Like, this kid is the figurehead, but they've talked to all of them.
Oh yeah, they've slept around.
I was thinking that, didn't want to say it, but you said it, and that's okay.
I think that's implied. I don't know. I think that's not out of their wheelhouse. Let's put it that way.
But I do wish though we'd had another scene where we get a sense of their figureheading, because really the implication is the Romulans are giving these guys the plan. The ladies are the visual power play, and the boys the visual because we need a guy. But I would have liked if we'd had that moment where, if they had said something, I don't know, should they, would they, could they, just to improve it a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Beitor is more of the... Lursa is the brains behind it all. Beitor would be the one that would be like the flirty one that would get things done in that regard, you know what I mean? I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. So, anyway. Great shot of the Vorcha and the Enterprise in orbit.
Yes.
And then we get the talk with Gowron, which is the same room as he basically talked to his brother in by the looks of it.
It looks a little bit better, but not a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I offer you some Klingon squadrons. Why would they follow you? Why would they follow a Starfleet officer? Because they pledged their support to my brother, Kern. Kern, he opposes me. Not anymore. He will listen to me. I am his older brother. What do you want in return? He's like, my price. For 4 squadrons? No, that's not enough. We need the Federation help. You have Picard's ear. Well, Starfleet has Picard's ear. You have... Yeah. Picard can influence Starfleet. You can influence Picard, so it's up to you. And so basically, he wants to pull the Federation into the Civil War, have the Federation back him to get him installed as Chancellor. And you know where that's going to go. Worf even says that they won't interfere. But he's like, you hide behind human excuses. And then he basically says, are you like a coward when it comes to battle? Did you hear the cry of the warrior? Are you human or Klingon? And then it gets interrupted by a battle, if you can call it that. I'll let you talk about that scene, though.
Yeah, it's... I don't think this is quite as good as the last scene with the two of them. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would agree with that.
I like... Well, I think, like we said, the set design isn't very good. It just feels like a corner of the set. Like, I know we haven't got the Bird of Prey bridge yet. Although, we probably do. Star Trek, no. It was in 5. 5 would be before this. They had the access to a Burrell bridge. I guess they were filming the movies, I guess. But it feels weird they wouldn't use that at any point. I guess they were that busy. Not then the bridge in the fake. Anyway, I like the reveal to Kern. But since we never set up he's important, except a captain, it doesn't quite work as well as they hope. It's like, you've got Kern. It's like, yes. But do you not have 5,000 ships in the, in the Armada? Why is one guy with 3 squadrons important? doesn't quite play as well, and certainly the guy that is about to be Chancellor, it's just not as powerful. And I can't remember what else happened. Oh yeah, the calling him out. I mean, it doesn't. It feels more like a cheap political shot than a tactful Klingon move. It's like, I mean, I guess you're playing that card, but he's trying to help you here, and you're being a bitch. It's like, okay, not. I don't know. It's not as well written, to me. Doesn't most of the things are really well written. This one is the weaker.
Well, this seems like a more desperate approach thing on Gowron's point of view, because he's basically screwed right now, and Worf is using this. This is the situation he wanted. We could go in and say, "Hey, look, I got squadrons for you to help you and back you and support you," and Gowron's like, "Oh, wow, yeah, but I want the Federation." It's like, it's more realistic of a scene, I think, because of the way it plays out. You're basically clawing for every advantage you can get, and so the Federation thing was a last-minute idea by Gowron. So I think it works in that regard.
Yeah, I think a set evolution would have been important. Sense of grandeur here, because there's definitely heftier things. And again, Worf, this accommodation guy, just got on board Gowron's ship, got through this. I know, and he doesn't know he's beaming aboard. You know, he's clearly like surprised he's there. So no, this accommodating Klingons can go anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's like, well, don't make it a thing if it's good. Whatever. But yes, then under attack.
We pause Swift back though before we battle. $5.
Thank you.
Picard used the Jach here.
Oh.
Same thing he made Duras and Gowron do in Reunion, where they had to recount their battles and honor. When did he do that? With the kid. Yeah, what battles have you been in? None? Oh, okay.
Today, because it was a battle. Yeah, shut up, kid. But that's a great example. This battle. What a bitch this Forge is. He's the, it's like saying the American president-elect is in a shitty little Corvette that isn't isn't bulletproof. It's like, why is he not, like, he's the legal ruler of the government. Why has he not got a better ship that can be disabled by, like, and then the first thing he says, warp coils offline. It's like, you had your shields up. You can see how you're disabled by one cavort with basic disruptors, not torpedoes, basic disruptors. It's a very, like, And
then impulse engines go down immediately, and disruptors. And then, this is my favorite thing. The Bortos has lost their port shield, sir. It's unlikely they will stand another hit in that quarter. Next shot, the next scene, they get hit in that port quarter at least 4 times.
It's a lot of shots, yeah.
Yeah. And then you can see him striking the shield, and it's like, that's the port side, dumbass. Visually, they should have changed that up a bit.
It's like shields down to 10% the rest of the battle.
That's like, look, it's a Foley class. It's not. Anyway.
No, this is a cool ship. It's really shit here. And the classic thing, like with Picard in other battles, where somebody on the bridge crew is going to do something, but why, if they're 1 minute from death, is Picard not strategizing, giving orders? Why is he sitting there waiting for death? We've seen it happen lots of times. So waiting for Blade to have an idea, but he's just waiting for death. So is Riker. No ideas. In reality, they'd all be doing something on some panel, giving some orders, trying a plan. So Gowron feels like a real pussy here. He's doing nothing. He's accepting his death. It doesn't play well. And the set's not very good either. I really would have preferred the Burrell from Star Trek V. It's not a good... It really pushes the TV budget. It doesn't look good. Doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I suppose. I do like Picard's thing here, though. Take us away from here.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get involved. And Riker's like, what?
Yeah.
He's the legitimate leader of the Empire. It's like, we're not gonna get pulled into a civil war, so we're out of here.
Yeah.
I expected Gowron to be like, cowards or something, but...
Yeah, it's surprising that they don't call out, Sir, the Enterprise is leaving. What? Picard? It's weird there's no connection there. You'd think that would be important, especially since Gowron's not doing anything in the battle until a certain point. But I do like Worf's maneuver, though, although you would think that if your shields are down, their shields are down, beaming takes 1 second, they'd be prepared to beam. I was expecting, like, boarding pilots to have beamed in, then them fire. Like, it's like if that's the whole move.
Yeah. Anyway, and then what a bitch this Cavort is, or Burrell, whatever it is. One hit with the shields down, boom, and then we get the same explosion, and flying through the explosion that we see like 5-6 times in the course of the series.
Yep. And it's like, is that a torpedo? No, it's a disruptor. Why not use that all the time?
Yeah, it's a disruptor. We never really see that effect again. It's really cool.
It's fine.
I like the looks of it.
But then the second shot, same power, hits the Cavort and they say no damage. So is it mega powerful or is it not powerful at all?
That's because they raised their shields in time.
But you would think I would say at least shields down to like 70%. Because the Cavorts are weaker than a Vorture, and yet they can just standard disruptor them to basically bitch slap level, whereas the Vorture's big powerful gun, no damage. Okay, don't buy that. Even their view screen's damaged. Because they wouldn't have changed the battle if they just damaged the ship a little bit. Jesus, you know?
Starship Resolution throws in £5.
Thank you.
The saying should change. Today is a good day to die. To every day with this ship is a day to die.
No, it's so sad.
And Fleet Boss Rift Pack, $2. Gowron is an ineffective commander here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And he's on. I love it. He's sitting in this chair doing this. Like the disruptors are down, the impulse engines are down.
It's like, give some orders. Don't just miss Martok. He is going to stand up, go to a console, press buttons. But thank goodness the other captain comes in and pews.
Yes.
And then an embarrassing visual effect moment. They cloak with full shields, get shot while cloaked with full shields. Sorry, how are you shooting a bird of prey that's cloaked with shields? Sorry, what? No. You can't do that. That's wrong. No.
Well, that's a good point, and I never really considered that.
Pissed me off, Stuart. It's fully invisible. That's Discovery level stupidity. Pisses me off. It's one rule.
You're right. There's no excuse for it.
Two rules. You can't fly while cloaked. No shields while cloaked.
I thought it was a cool visual to see a cloak and see the one strike of the shields. Then they fire again and it's gone. It's like it moved, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right. I never considered that. So good job.
Because it would have been fine, absolutely fine, if they time it with the visual effects that as it's starting to cloak, it hits the shields, and then obviously they've got the cloak, and then the pulses then miss and went past it. Perfect. But the fact that it's shooting hits shields while cloaking also isn't a thing. Every time in the shows you say, drop shields!
Everybody in the chat is confused, saying it's a lucky shot, Sam. No, they manually targeted the projected path. No. You can hit a cloaked ship, but cloaked ships can't have shields raised.
Yes.
This takes too much power to cloak. That's why...
Yeah.
You can't fire or have shields raised.
Remember, that was the point of Star Trek Generations. They couldn't have cloak and shields, and so they destroyed the ship which had no shields. That's the point of Star Trek 6. They could fire a torpedo, it had no shields, it was cloaked. That's the point of lots of episodes. Of course they can shoot it, and it's something... Yeah, of course they could target. I mean, both ships moving so slowly, they could... I'm sure they could fire it for days. But just a real FX blunder, and it's just... They should know better. Like I said, Discovery level F-up.
Yeah. Then Kern shows up on the monitor from his quarters.
Doesn't look happy. He does not look happy.
Yeah. Basically says, thank you. We'll meet us in the Great Hall. By the way, the Enterprise is invited to... Okay. And then this is like the last episode of Deep Space Nine, where it could end like 4 or 5 times.
No, seriously. I thought it ended here. I thought this was the ending.
Yeah, and then later when the Enterprise like pulls away from the ship because Worf is... It should be ending. And then, there's a lot of good endpoints that
I literally at this point paused and said, oh no, I must have made a mistake. This must be part 1 and part 2 edited together in one movie. Because I remember ending there. Click. Oh, 10 minutes more?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'm glad you noticed 10 minutes as well. Because I made a note of that Oh, it's over now. What? Nope, 10 minutes left.
This might be the densest episode I've ever watched of TNG, where you're like, there's another quarter left. Holy shit! So much has happened, and so much will still happen. I was thoroughly impressed, thoroughly impressed, and also like confused, because that's the end. That's the middle point. The point you end on. That point. That great point, or in the battle at the cliffhanger. Guess not.
But Picard puts the cloak on him, makes him Chancellor. And it's like, okay, cool, it's over now. Nope. You fought well. Your hearts are Klingon. He gives Worf and his... I don't think they acknowledge Kern here, because I think this bloodline is still hidden.
Yeah, they don't.
But anyway,
yeah.
I return your family honor.
Yeah. And I was surprised. That's his first command as leader of the entire Empire. Talk about putting his reputation on the line.
I don't think there's anybody else there. Well, I guess there is, because they had to see him get it.
But that's the right. This is what I said earlier. All the extras went with the kid, and so now this has zero impact because like this great hall of council guys. Nope, you have got nobody here, good dude. But I like that context. It's like you might have the seat, but do you have the power? I don't think you do.
No, He-Man has the power. I have the power.
The sword of Kahless gives me the power. But I was like, literally, the guy walks off the stage and then gives him his honor back. First thing. And then he murders him 5 years later. Shit.
Yeah, thanks for giving me my honor back. Die.
Because I thought he was going to at least like order something first. But no, first thing. Wow. And then it ends. Then it ends, right, Stuart, with his honor? Yeah? It ends?
Yeah, it does. Yep. Oh, wait a minute. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
This is the second attempt for him to pull the Federation in. He's like, I'm the rightful ruler by law, and everyone else that opposes me is a traitor. So you're going to come and help me with these other Klingons. But they're Klingons. Yes, but they're traitors.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I mean, of course the Federation isn't going to get involved, and I see their point, but and then the whole Worf, dude, you need to like go back to duty. No, I want to extend a leave of absence. No. You can't do that while there's a war going on with the Klingons. And so he resigns his commission. And I love the look from Gowron. Like he's watching him like, what are you gonna do, Worf? And it's like, oh yeah. He's with me.
Yes, I just gave you everything back, bitch. You're mine.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to say anything either, which is nice. This scene, though, because it goes from the quite good Klingon set to boring conference room, like that edit is a bit harsh. Or like you should have had guards with him, like a bit of extra flavour to just, it's Gowron in the same set. It lost some elegance to it. And it's just the same scene again. Help us, no. Are you sure? No. Bye-bye. It's not, I know
they do a little bit of explaining that about the Romulans. The Duras will bring them the Romulans, and
That's true.
It could be destabilization of power.
That's true. Yeah, that was the good point. But since they have literally zero proof these Durases have worked with the Romulans, it's a spurious statement. It's like, because your dad did, therefore you're a traitor by default. Like that's it. There's no evidence for them. I know we know, they don't know. And that's really harsh, because then, does that mean that, Alexander's going to be a shit father because his father's a shit father? Well, no. But that's, So I thought that was dumb. But yeah, the argument's worth having as long as we know the fourth wall. But Picard is yeah, we can't help. Although you would think there's something they could do, because he is now the formal head of the entire Klingon Empire. Like, if that isn't some political sway, what's the point of being the head of the biggest empire?
There should have been an admiral on the view screen in the conference room saying, we can't. We'll need to go into deliberations. It could be a while, but, there should have been something more there, I think.
An admiral's an interesting...
Because the Federation should be at least aware, like, having a conversation about it, But
then, why can't he have any sort of... I know it's internal, but does that mean you can't help any of your allies, like the president, it feels like you know what I mean? It feels odd to just walk away. Like Picard should have said, okay, we can't do this, we can't do anything you want, but we can still maybe, if you assign an envoy ship to stay in orbit, we can monitor the situation, and if civilians are attacked, we can provide aid. And Gowron can be like, what's the point in that? That's no help at all. And Picard's like, well, look, it's all we can do. But it's like, he's the formal government, just... Gowron does not feel any more powerful at this point, and he really should do. He really, really should do. And that's a problem.
Fancier. He looks fancier.
He does. But doesn't feel fancier. Just another like miss trick, I think. But that's okay.
But that's it. It's over because he puts his communicator badge down. That's the to be continued. Dun dun dun. So.
No, Stuart, we're not doing reviews yet. No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, I see. We get the Samsonite packing our luggage scene.
Yes, there's the epilogue scene. Yeah. But it is cool. The first time he's been in the Klingon uniform, and he does make. And I was like, "Is he? Was it?" And he is, because he even like looks like, "This is how I look, I guess." Which I liked.
Yeah, it works for sure.
Yeah.
Starship Resolution 2 pounds could always give them Captain Jake and Night Crew.
Is that the Robot Chicken sketch?
And Norman says we skipped over the resignation. No, we didn't. We talked about that just a minute ago.
Very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Although Picard should have known, like Picard put him in that position. Like that was up to Picard. Like he knew that. Like
Picard didn't think he would do it though.
Why would you not think he was going to do it? Like he's forcing him to a corner. Like I had no doubt he was going to do it.
But that's the thing. We don't know how serious a resignation is. Like, you have to go through the academy again if you want to join out, or like, what's the deal?
No, yeah, you're right. There's no, yeah. It feels, yeah, you're right. We know it doesn't mean as much, but in the context, it may have meant a lot more. That's true. Yeah. It does show Picard doesn't know him as well as he thinks.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Well, this next scene with Picard in his quarters, in Worf's quarters, Picard is very much not a captain now. He's very much like. He's more relaxed. He's more like, hey, yeah. So here we're gonna be on the borders. That's cool, man. Your tactical training. That's all good. It's gonna
bring me a shirt back. You
know. Oh, my chief of security went to the borders. Says the chief head tactical officer, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Yes.
Yes. Is that what you're saying?
It is. I was definitely surprised the way it plays. You think Picard's pissed at Worf, and from suddenly cut to his quarters and be like, "Hello, Mr. Worf, how are you?" It's a very odd edit, and it shows you that he's playing political poker, but he gets it 100%. I think it's a little. I think probably one scene in between, maybe like it's earlier. Maybe Deanna. There's a slight disconnect there. It's a little bit odd. Although then, we know this isn't permanent, but is Worf legitimately packing all of his possessions? Because he brings quite a lot of stuff. He's been on here 4 years. He does collect trophies, etc. Got a lot of stuff to pack and move. And then what if the Bortus gets destroyed because Klingons don't tend to care about their ships as much? It's like, oh, all my stuff. Oh.
Yeah. But Picard's like, yeah, serving as Starfleet is the only Klingon, gave you a particular distinction, and you became a person I was very proud to call one of my officers. I'll have your shit beamed over to the Bortus. And then it's a nice send off. I really appreciate when the doors open, Picard just steps aside. That's Worf. That's really, really good. We get to see all the extras. These are probably like the gaffers and the cameramen. We want to be in a scene with Worf. I'm just looking at all his faces.
And also briefly, I thought it was kind of funny that Picard said, basically, you're a big fish in this small pond of Federation. I was kind of hoping he was going to say, on our ship, you're the only Klingon. In the Klingon ship, you'll be a nobody. I was expecting that to take he was like, think about it again, you'll be a nobody there. There's lots of Klingons. It's a Klingon ship.
You're an ex-trader who was raised by cowards.
Yes. Wow, yes, human cowards. Yeah, yeah. You smell like a human. You don't eat properly. You don't laugh, apparently.
You smell like lavender or lilac.
Yes. Nice call forward.
Peaty, earthy aroma.
I thought that was going to come in dialogue. I thought it'd be funny.
Fleet Pod Swift back $2. Never put Worf in a corner.
Yes.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Yes. But no, it's definitely nice to see the crew. Very colourful, quite diverse, different sizes, and it's definitely like, let's get every extra on set today. And obviously Tracy gets right in front of frame, which is nice for her.
And why did Worf look surprised when he turned the corner and everybody was in the transporter room? Like when he turns the corner, he's like, "Oh, you're here. You all came." Of course they did. Like, what the hell?
Why is no one on the bridge right now?
Like, why didn't you guys get any lines this episode? Geordi hasn't been in it. Data was in it for a second. Riker had a cameo or two. But Troy and Crusher, they must have been doing gymnastics or yoga, whatever they were doing in front of that mirror.
It's definitely weird. Obviously, they brought them in quickly from doing another scene, another room. Like, okay, guys, quickly, just transporter room. We're just going to film scene 37, episode 26. Do we say no? Just stand. Okay, we'll go back and film episode 24 now. Literally, is that sort of weird? Yeah, it's
yeah.
And it's if this is the send off for his character, or at least for being always on the Enterprise, it's both is special, but they're like it's similar to what Neelix got, but that you got more dialogue. Like, and even with like Scotty, every character got a moment. So I think while it does present you with like he might be living for good, if he really was, everyone would have one word to say.
I'd buy it. Yeah, I agree.
So there's a slight is too quick in that respect. Because everyone's like I say just not even there, even though they are there. And then the episode ends, right? We're done. He leaves. That's the end of episode.
Yep.
Okay, right. So out of 10, my score is.
Oh wait, there's more.
Oh, this is post-credit sequence. Are we doing Avengers? You know. We
get the nice shot of Picard alone in the transporter room again. Yeah. Credits. Boom. Perfect. No, okay. We got to see the ship pull away. Okay. Now credits. That's the perfect place. Oh no, wait. Then we get the Romulans hanging out in their quarters and walking in and out of the door. By the way.
Not subtle at all. For God's sake. It's probably to be fair, it's probably Duras' house. Like they own.
Yeah, it's probably an estate or something. Yes. Yeah.
But it doesn't. It looks a bit daft the way they play that.
They report the Enterprise has left orbit.
We're so smug.
The little kid is like, "Oh, the cowards! They don't have the courage to face us." And then celebrate later, Tyrrell. We should not discount Jean-Luc Picard yet. He is human, and humans have a way of showing up where you least expect them.
Like me, Denise Crosby, back in Star Trek.
Yeah, and that's the end, right?
Okay.
Woo! Oh, it is. It is.
Okay. Wow. I don't think I've seen a more on the nose, hit over the head line. It's really kind of sad how on the nose it is, and considering they're gonna film season like the next episode in like 4 months, it's like right, and I'm gonna walk out, say a line, and go on holiday. I'm back. See you in 4 months. It's like you know what I mean? Such a weird But hey, she got more lines than Luke Skywalker. You know.
True.
In Force Awakens. But for some reason didn't hit me at all. Again, I know that Seela's a pretty crap character, all things considered. Mostly because the potential was squandered. But it's like it's not as powerful as they think. You know? But it's great for Denise. And it's great for the people behind the scenes. Like, it means so much to us, the fans. It just should have been epic. She just never was epic. Which is annoying.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, bring back Yes Enterprise, yeah. She was great. But yes. There we go.
That's the end.
And I want to congratulate your phone for doing pretty good audio and visual. Well done.
Pretty good. It's a top of the line iPhone, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Better do that.
Yeah.
still using Skype, so that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, just the Yeti's also a dedicated microphone. But guys, we need one more like to get 100, and we need at least another $60. I'll be honest, we're medium low, so 60 would be great. I'd love to see some scores. But what would you love to see, Stuart? Tell me. I want 60. What else would you like?
I want to see 115 likes, and I do want to see, yes, some scores. Super chatted would be great, so that I can read them out after we give our conclusions and thoughts and final scores ourselves. We also scored for Season 4 and for all of TNG, so keep that in mind. And if you want to just do a regular score without super chatting, you can do so in the regular chat. Samuel will read those out. But yeah, if we could get a few more super chats, would be awesome. If not, I have a live later tonight, which is great.
Breaking news.
I've been doing truth or drinks, or would you rather drink or answer, and those have been kind of all right. But tonight I'm going to do Trekkie trivia. So you get to super chat your questions. If I can't answer them, I got to drink. Depending on the amount of the super chat determines what I drink. So I could get sloshed pretty quick depending on what kind of questions you guys ask. So Trekkie trivia later tonight. Just saying. Check it out. All right. Swiftback $2. iPhone greater than Android, hands down.
Bitch. What?
Not a band account, $2, 9 out of 10. Oh. The return of Denise Crosby already sold me. All right, cool. More super chat scores, please.
Yes.
What do you think? You do your wrap up first.
Yes, but let me ask you briefly first, though. Because you went into this one when we did our drunk preview of the season, which we also have to do at some point.
That'll be next weekend.
God, those are fun. Oy, those are embarrassingly fun. You were very down this episode. How do you feel, without the review, just a very short one, what you thought it was going to be and what it was? And then I'll say my full review, then you can jump in.
I didn't remember much about it. I didn't remember that the sisters were here. I didn't remember this was Return of Sela or Yar, whatever the hell you want to call her. I didn't remember any of that. I was just like, oh, Klingon, don't care. I think this one might feel a lot less good after I watched the opener for season 5, because I think the second part of this isn't as good. And that might be, I think of them both as a whole, which will bring this one down. But I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, seeing the Duras sisters as being actual good villains was fun, because I completely forgotten that. And yeah, the return of Sela, it was interesting. It was good to see that. So I was impressed, I got to say. We'll see how I feel after we review the next one, because then we can talk about if it lets this one down and all, which I think it does. So
I think it's going to be a best of both worlds situation. Part 1, much better, all the promise. Part 2, drops a ball. Doesn't quite do what it set out to do, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But it's good, and let's remember where it goes. It's kind of good.
Yeah. What did you think going into it? Like, you didn't remember much of it, did you?
No, I just remember I like general Klingon politics stuff. We all like in DS9. I like it enough in this. Duras is the common thread of all of Trek. It's always a play Duras. I'm fine with that. It's a fine family to hate, etc. I was really impressed how much was in this episode, and it feels somewhat like a Lower Decks episode to me in that it is not the main crew. It is obviously Picard, but that's fine. He's only one of the many main crew. It is the other people. It's the other officers. It's the other Klingon side. So you have to sacrifice one chunk to get the other chunk. But the fact they committed very fully, and they paid a lot of money to bring everyone else back. It's a very full episode, and it feels like an MCU or a DS9 where they can use this greater canon. They don't do it in TNG really, so it's very unusual, and it definitely stands up because of those links with other episodes. It obviously builds because it's one of the earliest ones. I think, and so I said after I watched it, it would be better if it was made today, because it's a political thriller that's a bit too slow because of when it was made. If it was made today, the writing would be tighter, it would have more quick scenes with intrigue, and it'd be pushed up a notch of production value and effects, but not like just CGI. I mean, just like, all these elements that we talked about would be bigger and better. So it does suffer from the time, but that's just, it's grounded to a very like low place of production value relative to what it could be now. When we've been watching political thrillers, and it's just like, oh, the writing is so much more intense. That would have worked here really well. So, you know what I mean? It's an 80s version of a modern. It's actually what I noticed. So it's slower than you'd write now. Not a bad thing, just. But it's good, you know. Some really good scenes. It's a lot of little scenes, a lot of vignette scenes. It's definitely a journey. I love seeing Michael Dorn do a lot. It is kind of one note, like he does this. It's a one path he follows. You know, it's very straight, very narrow, but it's interesting, and it does genuinely have twists and turns, which is also not usual. You do not know where it's going to go from when it starts, and that's really quite fun. And I definitely like not knowing what happens in part 2. So yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with it. I don't think it's magic by any means, but it's definitely a standout for what it's trying to do, because it never tries to do this. It's like the Beverly when she's stuck in a static warp shell. They never do a one actor show, but they did it and it was spectacular, you know? They never do a Klingon only politics one, and it's really good for that, you know? So I'm going to stop my review there, and I'll do scores after you do your review, so I would love to hear what you think, like in a more detailed way like I just did. And guys, we're $30 away from our goal, so we're getting close. 30.
Well, the introduction of the Duras sisters, Kurn returning was great. Gowron back was awesome. I really love the character. And yeah, he's got that vulnerability in this one, which you don't see from his character.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel
but
that.
Thinking first watch through, you're like, you don't really know who this character is yet. So there's two different ways to look at it. But having known Gowron through all the DS9 and whatever, yeah, there's a definite different acting style here and it's good because he's in a vulnerable position right now. He wants to be installed as leader, but might not be because of the Civil War thing that could be rearing its ugly head. So I think that's great. Bringing back stuff from older episodes with the Arbiter of Succession and the Trekyards thing, that's great. The thing with Kurn being his bloodline's hidden to protect him, whatever, and still being a captain is a little bit confusing to me, but that's okay. I mean, that happens all the time in politics and real world politics and stuff when people.
He's also massively underused. Having now gone through it with you, yeah,
he is absolutely. So I mean, it didn't bore me like I thought it would with the politics. No. This one was actually pretty well done, and the fact that the Romulans are involved, I love that because it talks about another Klingon-Romulan alliance possibly, which would definitely change everything for the Federation. So there's a lot going on. Picard has some really great lines. There are some really great moments, but it's a lot of little scenes, as you said, like little vignette scenes.
Yeah.
And it again could have ended like there. Oh, could have ended there. Oh. And that's one of those things that bothers me. It's like, this is a natural ending point. This is how all other episodes end. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, sometimes those are a nice surprise that it's not over. This one, it was kind of like, yeah, this felt like a long episode. Oh, wait a minute. There's still 10 minutes left. What?
It's never happened before. That's never happened in TNG for me.
Yeah, I made a point to look, a 10-minute mark. Oh, there's still 10 minutes to go. I'm like, damn. So it's funny that you called that out as well. I just wish all the other characters would have had more lines or more things to do, because it is very much a Worf and Klingon company reunion show, essentially, with some Picard. And I think the Picard Worf stuff is really good, especially where he kind of gets slapped down a little bit in the ready room. So there's a lot of really good stuff here. And it's really surprising because I did not expect this when I went into this episode. I know part 2 has some really cool stuff in it, like, you know, Data being a captain for a hot minute and things like that.
Okay, so that is this one. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more Romulan influence in the second one, which hopefully I will like. I don't know why. Maybe the second one is so much better than the first one that I just forget about the first one.
Well, it's radically different, and this is
because they don't feel connected almost, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on it. So I don't know if you want to do your scores first, if you want me to.
Yeah, no, I'll jump into score. Guys, we're $10 away. I know we just gave it 10, but I'm looking at the numbers. So $10, we're right there. Right there.
Ooh, yes. That's awesome.
My score, I don't know, but I think I have to go with my gut reaction. I'm going to say for season 4, 8 out of 10. But all of TNG, 7.5. The reason I say that is because I don't know. I feel like all of TNG, this is like a stepping stone. But this season, even though it's a strong one, I feel like it's such a unique piece of the puzzle of the season. It's like, that's a very different episode. It's a weird clarification, but that was my gut reaction number. I don't know where I'm getting. Yeah. 8 for this season, 7.5 overall.
Okay. My scores for this season, for season 4, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Just because I wish there was more use of the ensemble cast. Because they've actually done a pretty good job of keeping an ensemble feel through most of this season. So, there's a few episodes but that's fine.
But the thing is, what would they have done? I mean, pretty much nothing. None of them had a role to play.
Crusher could have verified that he was Duras' kid.
They wouldn't trust a human to do that. That would be a Klingon scientist.
She could have been verifying their results, because they always say, "We'll send these results so you guys can verify them." They say it all the time.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And to be fair, they probably did. And that was cut. It does feel a bit random to go from being "Who is he?" verified. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's very like it does completely. That I probably was least scripted, because that would make sense functionally.
Well, you could also have Troy in the room at the same time that those results come in. And talk about, Alexander a little bit, like kind of the Guinan thing almost. Guinan was in this too, which was kind of nice to see her, but at the same time not needed. So that's another thing as well.
Yeah.
Geordi could have, I don't know. Anyway. For all of Star Trek, I'm going to have to probably give it a 7. Again, these kind of storylines, they don't normally grab me. This one was interesting, better than I anticipated, but I don't want to give it a super high score because it's not. I don't know why I keep forgetting about this episode, because when, like I said, Sylvie and I do rewatches of the series occasionally, so we watch them all, and I don't know why I keep forgetting about this. There's got to be something in it that just doesn't click with me.
I think part of it is that there is missing that secret sauce that combines everything into like it's a lot of good scenes with some less good scenes in a very simple, straightforward story that does do this, but in a single line. There's no AB, there's no multiple cast interactions, just Worf, Picard, Klingons. That's it. It's a very specific style story, whereas we like other sorts of stories that kind of yeah.
I also think that it's because when they do it on DVD and Blu-ray, they combine the 2-parters into one, so there is no to be continued a lot of times. When we do our watch throughs,
when they combine on TV, they wouldn't do it on DVD because they wouldn't have both seasons on a disc, so they would never do it on DVD or Blu-ray. I've got the Blu-ray and they don't.
Okay, well,
I mean, I think there's a custom Blu-ray like they've done a few of the movies, but they wouldn't have it on DVDs seasons.
I don't know, because if you've played this one and part 2 right back to back, and it doesn't have the same feel, I can see you forgetting about the Klingon part.
Yeah.
But as a standalone piece, this is very Klingon. I know the next one's more Romulan based because the Romulans are trying to infiltrate Federation space, and cause this coup with the Klingons. So I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I mean, I think that's a fair score. Like I say, it's missing that secret sauce. Like I think honestly they could have removed the kid and had the Duras sisters try and take the throne. That would have gave more screen time to them. That probably have helped. Take out the scene at the start. He didn't need it because it was reiteration. If this was a modern show, take out one scene with Gowron as well. Like a few things that add more depth to other parts, I think would have helped.
and mixing up the battle scenes so that Gowron actually did something. Because he really doesn't. He feels like a very ineffectual leader.
And someone did point out that, yeah, he's a politician, not necessarily a warrior class, which I like, if that's true. There's no evidence to suggest that except his crappy battling in this one. But that's just situational. Look at every other episode of movie that happens if it needs to happen, etc.
He was depressed. He was just talking to Worf, and then were being attacked, so he had to go to the bridge. Yeah. He wasn't thinking straight. So, all right. Well, let's read some of your scores. And if anybody else has any more to put in, that would be great. Like another $10, $15 would be awesome. Not a Band Account puts in $2. 9 out of 10. The Return of Denise Crosby already sold me. Fleet Pass Swiftback $2. 104. We hit my goal. Now let's hit Stuart's. We're at 110 likes. I need 5 more to hit my like goal. So if you haven't hit like, hit that like button. Shannon Nash, $10.
Thank you. Wow.
I've always liked this. I love the Klingons, and Worf is one of my favorite characters. His character arc is one of the longest in all of Star Trek. Bator may have something to do with it too. LOL. Yeah, Bator's. Everybody asks us which of the Duras sisters is the one we like the best. Bator is definitely it. I keep forgetting who they are, but yeah, Lursa's the older, taller one. So, but yeah. Squadra Course $2. Wasn't Sela featured in the episode Targ Cemetery? That's funny. Denise Crosby was in Pet Cemetery, Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. So he's trying to make a funny. Matt Boardman $2. Snipe Part 2 is definitely the weaker one. Okay. I only remember like the Data being captain part of
Nebula,
one.
Man. We get to see Nebula Bridge.
Yeah. And it's so impressive.
And that vaguely robotist guy.
Yeah. Like he must have been hanging out with Pulaski earlier in the day.
Although, to be fair, if you've never met Data, having a robot be in command is a bit weird.
Be your boss, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll get there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's just weird to focus on that when you've got a massive civil war between two of the biggest empires in Star Trek. You know what? Let's have a Data racism subplot. Because that's needed. Clearly not needed at all. Goodness.
Fleet Pass Swiftback $5. 7 out of 10. Oh. Hold on, there we go. 7 out of 10. Civil Wars for both Lursa and Bator were good. Sela's reveal was shocking. Good Picard acting. And Terrell needs to be put to forever sleep. Oh, good God. Yes, I agree with all that. Fleet Pass Swiftback $2. Sam, you owe us a Kailash.
Kailash. Well, these are real Klingons, so you know.
Yeah, they say it Kailash. Kronos 2611 puts in £10.
Ooh.
7 out of 10. I think it's a decent episode, but like most of the Klingon heavy episodes, I tend to skip them when we're watching. Agree that the politics aspect is probably what makes it good. I don't know why people skip things on rewatches. If you're going to rewatch something, watch them all. That's just my thought. And 8 out of 10 from the Trek reviewer for boobies. Yes, that definitely enhanced the episode.
They make an impact.
Squadra Course $2. Denise Crosby left TNG to film Pet Cemetery. See? She thought she was going to be a big-time actress. Good job.
Yeah. Right, let's read some non-super chat scores. Let's see what the consensus is. So just to reiterate, I gave it a 7 nope, I gave an 8. For this season you gave 7.5, and I was 7.5 for TNG, and you were 7, so 0.5 difference. That might change in a post-retrospective because I just went pure gut, don't think about it too hard. But let's see what you guys said for score. 9 out of 10, 9. 9.9, Aussie. 8.5, 8, 8, 8.5, 9, 8, 8, 9, 8.5. 9 out of 10, 8.5, 8.5, 10, 8. 8. Okay. So, higher than our scores, although I think because we obviously have the perspective of reviewing them all very intently, and obviously I know all of you are here most times, you're not here every time. So I think we have a certain, forced, full-on perspective of them. But I think we also save our, I mean, I know you're a bit more keen to give 9s than I am, but we save our, high numbers for ones we really like. Like, if we give a 9, it's like an instant 9, Yeah. It'd be great when we finish all of this to me to go back through the documents and find the 10s. Like, what are our top, scientifically proven, Stuart, over a year and a half, 2 years, what are our top 10 TNG?
What? Oh, she's a 10. Fleet Pod Swiftback, $2. Boo, Sam, do it right, darn it. No, he doesn't have to.
Hey, we're almost at a drunk retrospective. So when I get to this episode in the drunk retrospective, then that's the good Kalish moment.
Maybe.
So I'll come back here soon.
The list of Jericho, I skip many of them. See, that's the problem. If you don't like an episode for one reason or another because you watch it the first time and you never watch it again because you keep skipping it, how are you going to get a new appreciation for it? You could have been in a bad place mentally. You could have something happen during your day. You could have been tainted in some way. Your viewing habits, much like your palate, change when you get older. Mm-hmm. If you skip the shit all the time, you're never going to realize that maybe you made a mistake, because that happens.
Well, we've done that a few times here. Ones we've liked and then not liked as much, and vice versa. Absolutely. I find, though, that I don't skip. I don't watch it unless I suddenly have an inkling to watch one. So I just watch certain ones all for research.
I might pay less attention to the show and more attention to my phone.
There you go.
I'm still watching and listening. I'm still paying attention. Somehow I'll set the phone down and go, yep.
What he is saying is when Redemption Part 1 comes up, his phone comes up. When Lurs and Beitor come in, the phone goes down, something else goes up, until they leave again.
Something like that.
Don't I know him well? Guys, with $5 more. 5 and 2 likes. That should be doable. And I think we finished as close to being on time as we could have. I'm quite pleased with what we did. Yay for us. And Trek Review has a good point. Skipping Shades of Grey. I feel like that's justifiable. A clip show surely is skippable by its almost definition. What do you think? As an exception to the rule. There are always exceptions to a rule.
Nah, you just said a clip show is skippable.
Yes.
But look at all the clip shows they did in Stargate and how well they did them. So I disagree.
Well, there's only one clip show.
No, there's a lot of clip shows in Stargate.
How many clip shows are there? Because there's
probably at least 4 or 5. And they're done so well as this is something that happened. It's really well done, so it doesn't feel like a clip show, but it definitely is.
I mean, there's only one that I can think of, and it's the briefing one in season 1, because they needed the budget to save for the last season. They just recoup. But also recapping the season shows you Apophis to then get to the final episode. But that's a very clever one because it's a briefing, and you actually get a lot of internal stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's other ones too. They're well done enough that they don't feel like a clip show, but there are clip shows.
Can you guys think of another one? Because I can't think of another one. If someone can let me. No,
Citizen Joe.
That's not a clip show. That's a show with some clips in it. It doesn't count.
It's a clip show. It's a clip show done well.
But the definition of a clip show is one where you're saving money by using clips. That's the whole point. Whereas that episode is we're going to tell a different style story, hiring an expensive actor, and using a few clips. It's mostly new footage. It's not there are clips, but it's not a clip show.
But that's not the one. That's not the only one I'm thinking of.
No,
there's another one.
That's a good example.
Reality or something where I don't fucking know. I didn't pay attention. I just know that there's a few where it's this is not a clip show, but it's so well done.
Well, no, let us know, guys, in the chat. Citizen Joe's close for sure, but it's not the point.
I consider it a clip show, whether you do or not.
Yeah, fair enough. It's closer. It's at least 50% there.
Fleet Pod Swiftback, $5. The only TNG episodes permissible to skip are Shades of Grey and Beverly's Sex Ghost one. Honestly, that's not even worth skipping that one. It's. I don't understand the mentality, but maybe I'm just.
And you know what? I'm excited to see the Beverly sex ghost. I don't think I've ever seen that all the way through. So I'm excited to see her have sex with a ghost. An Irish ghost, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. The lantern. He's a sex ghost and a lantern. That's what I know about it. That she bangs in a holodeck, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I know. But guys, we are... Ooh, $2. Well, okay, well, $2. Damn, we're 50 cents. So Matt was $2. We're 50 cents away. So 99 or 1. I don't think you can put 50 in. Hey, here we go.
Matt Borman, $5 for the glory of the Empire. That thing you can't find, $5. Cap, I'm surprised you forget about this episode. Season 1 and Season 2 finales are more forgettable.
What are they?
The Season 2 finale was Best of Both Worlds. Or was that Season 3?
That's 3.
Season 3 finale.
No, isn't Shades of Grey Season 2?
That's Season 1, I believe.
No, because Pulaski.
Oh, Pulaski, you're right. That is...
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the final episode.
Is there even a finale for Season 1? Is it just a last episode? I don't think there's like an actual finale. Let us... Trekyards TNG Season 1 Episode 26. I'll give us a view. Oh, Neutral Zone. That's not... I mean, okay, we forgot it. But it's a good episode. It's a very ambitious episode.
Uh-huh.
But we did forget it, to be fair.
Yeah. Matt Boardman, $2. Does this put us over the goal? Snipe.
Yes.
Yes. Fleet Pod Swiftback, $2. Cloak Klingon Bird of Prey. Snipe.
Hey, you got your shields up. Boo. One more like. One more like. One more like. One more like. Oh, and Stuart, do you want to pimp your Tonight Show again briefly?
Yes. Tonight around 10 o'clock, depending, but around 10 o'clock, I'll be doing a Trekkie trivia drunk live where you guys get to super chat questions for me. If I cannot answer them or answer them incorrectly, I have to take a drink, depending on the amount that you super chat. And yeah, so come and join the fun. For as little as $5, you can have me drinking and have some good questions. I don't know. There's got to be rules for the questions, but this is a trial run because it's like, who played this character? And it's like a one-off character. And what was the actor's name? Well, that doesn't really count as a
we had that once with the other show we did. And this is like, who would know this? Who would know this question?
Yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes, but there's going to be rules and modifications on the fly, but it should still be fun.
So basically, if you want to break Stuart, do it in the prototype of his show.
The learning process. Yes. Be part of the learning process. And yes, it's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Stonewolf.
And I will be...
Probably 10 or 10:30 would be my guess.
Probably asleep-ish. Give or take.
Squadra Course, $1 with the snipe.
Ooh. Sniping. Sniping.
This is Jericho. The episode of Stargate 1 where they think O'Neill and Carter are brainwashed has clips. Yeah, that's another one.
It's not a clip show, though. It has, 4 minutes of clips, and they're specific. If most of the episode is new footage, it's not a clip show. It's a show that shows flashbacks. A clip show is a ship that reuses clips to save money. If any show is a clip
show... Anything that shows clips of another episode is a clip show.
But then you've got hundreds of clip shows. If you just show a flashback to an old episode is then a clip show if it has one flashback. It's like, well...
No, it's one flashback. That's one. That doesn't count. What? And last time on...
No, of course
also
not.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. What, so 2 flashbacks is now a clip show? Where's your line then if it's just doesn't need to be a clip show format?
I'd say 3 or 4.
Okay.
Because once you get 3 clips, it's like, seriously?
Now, are they different
and not right after each other, flashback in a grainy black and white. Look, this is the thing that happened.
Yeah.
If it's not actual, here's a clip of the other show, it's a clip show.
Now, does it have to be 4 different clips? What if they show the same clip as a way of detective storying it, but it's minutes of the story is just the same clip being shown again? Or is it 4 different clips in your brain?
That'll be 4 different clips.
Okay.
It's showing the same clip over and over again, even if it's from a different character's perspective. That's different storytelling. That's not a clip show at all.
Okay.
So,
I guess I'm just going from a technical, the reason for
a
clip show.
Yeah, you're going from the by the book literal definition of a clip show.
Huh.
I'm going by what I think is a clip show, where they show clips of other episodes I've already seen.
Okay.
It's like, okay, it's a clip show, very cleverly done and very well written to be something unique and genuine and unto itself. But
yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, hey, that's one with definitions. It's like, if you've got a different definition, then okay, there you go. Asked and answered.
No, listen, Jericho, that one 200 doesn't count. They show the pilot again. That's not a clip show. That's fucking fantastic.
Well, I mean, you could argue it is still clips from other episodes, just ones we didn't see.
Yeah, well, true.
I do wish though, and that is the example. I do wish other shows would do a clip show in the way you associate, where it's old clips, but nothing is actually from another episode. Like, you film new bits for every single clip, but in old episodes. So you think, oh, I've seen clips before because they're from other episodes, but no, you haven't. It's all new, and so it lets you go back and like add new pieces to other episodes. Like, how cool would that be? You know, it's like in a sense, These Are the Voyages is a clip show from Enterprise because they're showing clips from an unseen part of Pegasus. In that sense, you know.
I wish they would do more of that, but
that's what I mean.
Still wouldn't consider that a clip show.
I don't either. But I mean that sort of situation where it's an episode, but it's all clips, but they're all new fucking clips. Like I said with Shades of Grey, it's like, just film something new on the sets. You've got the sets, just film new clips. It's just a clip show. Like, I think that'd be so much fun.
That would be good for Star Trek shorts. Like, this is what happened off screen in this one episode.
Well, but
because they went to another planet to negotiate something or bring somebody back in, you know. Yeah, that would work.
But that wouldn't be the joke format as I meant. But yeah, I know what you mean. But then it's just shorts. But yeah, I mean, that's why I love BSG The Plan, because they do go back and they film new footage between all of the episodes, as well as use alternate takes and alternate angles, and it feels very clever because of that. It's very very clever. So last super chat is Squadron Course, I guess. No, we've got one more like. We're still waiting for that damn like. Come on.
One more like. Oh no, we hit the 115 we wanted.
But can't let that be 119 though. It's right there at 120. Come on.
One more like. Somebody hasn't hit like. If you look at your thumb and it isn't blue, you know what I'm gonna do? That rhyme.
You will do the blue? The blue dabba dee dabba da do dabba dee dabba da do ba dee ba da ba. Hey!
Yeah. I am going to do this. I am going to give us the last goddamn like.
Boom! 125.
I know we never hit like on our end, and we probably should.
Yeah.
We got 2 dislikes, so screw them, whoever they are. There, 126 now. So we went up quite a bit.
Screw you and your house.
All right, guys, that is awesome. Thank you so much. Squadron Course got the last super chat, so thank you so much, guys. Tune in tonight to see if you can out trivia me.
And remember, now we've finished the season. We'll do the drunk retrospective. We'll go through the entire season, and I will then tell us what our favourites and least favourites are of the season, which I always have fun because it's weird and fun. That will be drunk, so do expect that. We're also hoping to do a week of lives. We've taken it easy for a little bit this month. That's great for our mental health, not good for our rent. And yeah, I think we miss it to some extent. You know, it certainly feels, so I think we'll do a busy week one of these weeks coming soon. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 lives a week.
Hey, to be fair, I already do that. I do lives late at night after we've done a live. I've done streaming.
But I'm not included, Stu. You never invite me to your 6 a.m. lives. My time. You never invite me.
I don't like you.
I know.
I mean.
So yeah, join in for that, and we'll see you real soon. And obviously Saturday. Oh yes, Voyager J tomorrow.
Janeway class. That's what the J stands for.
Boom. It's true. Watch it. We'll see you then. You'll see us then.
Bye, guys.